it is in the month of October, and we promote, especially my rosaries, the right to life, and that goes across the board, not just, infanticide, which is a moral technical term for abortion, but euthanasia, assisted suicide, capital punishment, capital murder. Those are probably the big three. Genocide. Those are four evils in the world that I believe are, morally so, ethically so. And in the month of October, we pray the rosary for life. My convictions and the virtues that I uphold in my heart and mind are Christocentric, and life is precious, so precious, and we need to protect it. My only argument when people, say pro-life, pro-choice, I am not really into there's no argument to be made, in my opinion. Yes, people have the right to do whatever they want. Even God doesn't come down on a cloud and, rebuke and reprimand us for our bad decisions, or any decisions, really. But he did say, do not kill. And that's my argument. The Fifth Commandment, you shall not kill. I don't even kill animals or bugs without reason, If they're a pest, that's one thing. Hunting, you shoot to eat. You don't shoot just because you get a kick out of it. That's kind of, there's sport for things, and that's one thing, but killing for killing, some people are into that. When I was in the service, I had a roommate that was just really, really out there. He really wanted to get into, this was before 9/11, and I swear he drove me nuts, because at night he would just sit there and talk about, going to war, and he can't wait to kill. He had different slang words for the people he wanted to take out, the enemy, it was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in another world. But some people, don't value life the way that I do, but I share why, I share why I love my faith, but it's promoting life, all life. Thou shalt not kill goes across the board, and especially innocent babies. I can't rationalize that in my mind. I know there are extraordinary circumstances, but even then, adoption is a real powerful, merciful way to give life to an innocent, victim. I've, more than any other area for women, men, different situation, but as a confessor and as a healer, as a priest, I spend a lot of time with people, and especially certain mothers who have been through real difficult things, challenges, weren't ready for an unexpected pregnancy, and they would come to me with such guilt. And man, so many. And I was there to help them heal, to help them understand, and to tell them I love them, to tell them that I forgive them for what they're feeling guilty about. And, it lands on their conscience pretty hard, not usually earlier, but later. Women in their 50s, 60s, 70s who confess for the first time that they had an abortion. And I come across completely loving and compassionate. I know people in my life that have had abortions, and I've seen their conversion, and it's possible to find peace. It's possible to find hope, and it's possible to be able to forgive yourself. And so, yeah, thou shalt not kill. I think that's about all you need to say. If you want to get into the ghoulish types of abortions, that alone can make your stomach turn. Dicing up babies in the womb with scissors and sucking them out with a vacuum cleaner to be pureed in a blender. you just can't get any more demonic than that. I'm sorry. And those who are really advocating for pro-choice, you can't exclude all the parties. The baby, I mean, they're innocent. I tell young teens, do not be irresponsible with sex. It's a holy act. Be careful. Make sure, out of all the things that you can get tied up into, in life that disrupts your life, and then you start to get really afraid, and then you make decisions, and then you regret them. That's where I'm coming from. I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying, in our faith, in the Christian faith, we promote life and we defend it. And it's wrong to take life, any kind of life. It has nothing to do with just abortion, but it's murder, To people who think, gangbusters in the south side of Chicago, you're taking life, no. You don't go randomly shooting people different and fighting over territory. But before you know it, decades and decades go by and you don't even care. There's a war and you'll shoot anyone that's not part of your gang. And no, I'm saying to them too, thou shalt not kill. In war, same thing. There is circumstances that, yes, you can take out an enemy combatant. That's different. But shooting someone who's innocent, shooting someone who's a prisoner of war, that's wrong. That's why you will go to jail for that. So whether it's abortion or war, gang violence, and capital punishment, they're talking about people on death row. I think that needs to go away too. We're way past the death penalty being a deterrent. It is no longer a deterrent. People, they're not afraid to do the violent things they're doing, and so they give them a second chance. At least give them the chance to change their lives. There's so many situations where these people who commit such atrocious crimes, murder dozens of people, they deserve to be in prison forever. But I don't understand why we need to commit an act of evil, which I believe taking any life is, because someone did evil. So it's called the double effect theory, where you don't use evil to combat evil. You, as Christians, we turn the other cheek in all matters with justice. We don't. Justice needs to be upheld, but life is precious. Animal life is precious. Human life is precious. You won't see people go to jail for throwing puppies in a bag in the river. Same thing. Life is precious. Protect life, appreciate all life, and always give, people who are in need a second chance, whether it's a baby in the womb or someone on death row, or, to those who are in gang violence. If you're ever watching this, you can turn around, you can leave, you can change your life. You don't need to commit to the violence because someone else killed your buddy. All it does is kill. It's just a cycle, doom cycle. And it's exactly what that's the game of the devil. He wants to kill everybody. If he could, he would. He's a murderer. And he can only inspire and tempt people to do so. So anyone taking life, remember that the devil is whispering in your ear. For women who have had abortions, it's going to be okay. Ask for forgiveness. Go to a priest. Ask for absolution. Change your life through those moments of conversion. I've led a lot of women, dozens and dozens of women over the last decade alone, and I help them come out of it. I hug them, I tell them I love them, and then I tell them I forgive them, and it changes their heart and mind. It helps them on the path of forgiving themselves. So in October we pray the rosary for all life. Remember the commandment, thou shalt not kill. It is for all life. Even trees, I get really extreme with it. Like someone wanted to cut like a 100-year-old oak tree. Beautiful, monster oak, just because there was a sewer pipe that was like 3 feet next to it. And they're like, they were worried that the pipe might burst. And they were going to cut down that 120. It was enormous. The most beautiful white oak you ever seen. All he said was, thou shalt not kill. God bless. Have a wonderful week, and pray the rosary for the right to life. And for those who are scared, if you had an unexpected pregnancy, pray for the baby and know that adoption is an option. 1 out of 3 to 4 couples can't have kids. So someone will take that baby and raise them in a beautiful home, give them a chance at life, and you never know. They could be the next pope. They could be the next president. They could be the next Einstein. You never know who God made your baby to be.